So into the charts we go, and over the last 24 hours, we have seen Bitcoin continue down. This is, again, the last 24 hours. This candle just began a few minutes ago with a little bit of an uptick. Now, again, one of the things we have to note, number one, so far the topping tail has been dead on. All right, remember that. When I pointed that out, I said, listen, that's a topping tail. We got to take it as a topping tail, which is a bearish signal. What happened to Bitcoin the next 1, 2, 3, 4 days? It went down. However, just like to point out here that the game's not over for Bitcoin in terms of bulls, right? And I think that's important to recognize, right? Even though I am midterm bearish and maybe even short-term slightly bearish following the topping tail, you have to continue to watch this line here. And again, this is the line, the price point I've talked about now for many, many days, and saying right around 22,330, somewhere around there, basically these two lows here, that's your line in the sand. So as long as we stay above that, you could argue that the bulls still have a leg to stand on. It's not a strong leg, but it is a leg to stand on. Okay? So again, let's keep that in mind. Okay, looking at the chart as well, remember the only thing that matters at this point is the high of the topping tail, which is right around 24,250. So again, if you're watching the chart, and again, if you're like me, you're a chart watcher. Charts mean everything to me. So to me, what am I looking for? Does it close above the high of the topping tail? That's a engulfing or essentially a negation of the topping tail there. Or on the bearish side, does it close below this line and then confirm and then see a move all the way back down to this level here, support number 1 after that, then support number 2, which is right here. And then obviously if we continue down, we look at this upsloping trend line as well, which is going to merge in with this other one. Okay? Again, if we do happen to negate the topping tail, the bearish topping tail, you're going to start looking for this area here as your next resistance. Again, 25,400, give or take just a little bit. That would be your top level. Now, one of the things to watch tomorrow, folks, is Jerome Powell. He's going to be giving a speech. So let's keep in mind that his comments will be market moving, right? And again, I'm very, very curious to see what he does say, considering that following the last Fed decision, we did see a very sharp move up on the S&P 500. It came out right here, right? This was the Fed decision, and this was the move the next 2 days, all right? Or essentially right here, right? And then we did get the earnings from Apple, Google, Amazon on Thursday after the close. This is Friday's candle. It was a sell-off, and today followed it with a small sell-off. So again, we have come back in. But Jerome Powell, we know that he is not a huge fan of seeing asset prices inflate very quickly because it does add pressure to inflation via the wealth effect. Okay, and again, for those of you that don't know, the wealth effect basically dictates that as people watch their statements, their account statements, whether it's their 401k or their IRA or their just investment accounts in general, crypto included, as they see it go up and up and up, and it has gone up quite precipitously in the stock market, and it really has gone up very precipitously in crypto as well, right? People tend to feel wealthier. They're more likely to say, okay, you know what, I'll go buy that TV, I'll go buy that new car, I'll go maybe purchase a house, whatever it may be, right? A new refrigerator, and that, again, puts pressure on the demand side of the curve, which, again, the higher demand goes, can supply meet that demand? If not, prices have to go up. That's just the nature of economics. Okay, so that's where we are on Bitcoin's chart. Let's take a look at ETH. And again, ETH is just coming back off of it. I continue to believe that this is a short-term high and maybe even a longer-term high, mid-term high here as well. We have come back off of that as well. We're essentially flat, give or take a few bucks on the ETH short here. And again, my thought process is that we're going to see ETH break to the downside below this trend line here and start to collapse back to here. Now, again, when is that going to happen? That's a good question. And the bottom line is, it's very hard to pinpoint timing. Really, the best indicator would be when this line breaks, right? Once you close below there, especially once you confirm, then price should start heading down there relatively quickly. Okay? Let's look at a few others here. We'll just go through the list. Cardano, again, Cardano got very close to where I would have shorted it at around 42 cents. I was talking about that with you guys quite a bit in these videos. Again, it has rolled over at this point, so it is what it is. You don't get a short off always, just like you don't get a long off if it doesn't hit your exact level. But the one thing to always remember is that the discipline of following your level is what is going to keep you in line and keep you profitable over the longer term. So again, that discipline is everything for a trader. I've never met a profitable trader or investor who's made money over the mid to long term without being disciplined. And what I mean by that is, listen, anyone in 2021 could have made money. Like, I'm sure a lot of us out there made money hand over fist. It was a bull market. You closed your eyes, you threw a dart at the board, you were going to make money. It's, again, in markets that are either choppy or bearish where real investors and traders make money. And again, that's where the discipline comes in. Taking a look at Binance here, Binance again had gotten back just above this trend line here. Again, never confirmed. Notice that. Closed above, never confirmed, never confirmed, never confirmed. We're still above that line, but again, unconfirmed. This still is a shortable level at 372 if it gets up there in the near term. Let's go to a few of these other ones. How's Polkadot doing? Let's take a look at Polkadot. Again, after that beautiful pop north of 7, it has come back in. Still in line with a decent amount of support right in this area. Again, if you look at the high of this candle here, that tail right there, essentially that's the current level that we're currently sitting on Polkadot at $6.50. Now, again, to me, is there a chance it could make one more push up? Yeah, of course it could. But again, it's going to require Bitcoin to get some adrenaline in it. It's going to take it to, pop just a little bit towards that 25,000 for it to probably get to 750 or so. Next up, let's take a look at another one of the short signals out there, and look at this beautiful rollover. Again, this is a definitive trend line break here. It has confirmed at this point. Doesn't mean it won't have bounces, but at this point, it is a breakdown. Once we take out, and look at this. This is so important to see. So, number one, we know that this upsloping trend line we broke and we confirmed. All right, so that's a breakdown right there. The next point is right here, and look at this. Look at a line right here, guys. This low to this low, and look at where we're hovering. That's your next line in the sand to break. It's at $22.40-ish, $22.40. That breaks, then you have another minor support here at around $20.20. If that breaks, you go to my target, which is around $17.70, $17.75. All right, and again, I do think it's going to go back there. That is exactly what the chart is continuing to tell me over the midterm here. Short term, over the next couple days, sure, it could get a bounce off this minor support. That's why it is a support. It's minor support because it could give it a bounce. Next up, let's take a look at Avalanche, and Avalanche is also coming in beautifully here, so we're nicely in the money on this one as well. It hasn't retraced down to this low yet. That's going to be your next support right there. And then if it gets through that, you're going to this blue trend line, which is just below 18 bucks. Also, lots of sideways chop here as well of consolidation support as well. All right, so again, just to give us kind of a roundabout view of all the trades that we have on right now. And again, so far so good. I think everything is looking fine. Again, we have some longs. We have a couple shorts. Notice, again, the longs, majority of the long is Bitcoin because, again, I view Bitcoin as being the safest. Even if it's going to pull back, even if it's going to make new lows, I believe that longer-term Bitcoin will soar, so I don't mind holding that. Polkadot, again, has the SEC has basically said it's along the lines of Bitcoin not being a security. So again, it's a little higher risk, obviously, but I think, again, it should end up surviving as well. Definitely higher risk. That's why the percentage of investment is much, much smaller. All right, on the short side, notice we're picking these extended moves that are kind of very, very volatile. They should give us a move to the downside after such big pops like they've seen. They all came into major technical resistance levels. All right, we can take a look at XRP real quick. I know I got a lot of people out there loving the XRP. XRP, guys, never confirmed above the line, starting to drift below. So, again, you got to take that for what it is. As of now, it's not a breakout. In fact, it's a failed breakout at this point. Does have a little support right down here. If it continues down, you're going to have support around 36.7 cents here, and then ultimately the low trend of the wedge pattern right there. Looking at... let's see what else we have. Matic. We'll see what Matic's been doing here. Matic, again, did touch resistance here. I had a short ready to go at $1.30, $1.30. It did not hit it. All right. And again, usually things will pierce even numbers. It didn't end up doing that. It only got to about 128.5 before rolling over. That's okay. Maybe it does make one more attempt up if Bitcoin gets a bid. But again, to me, this line right in here, look at this support resistance right here. Tons and tons of resistance right here, and that's what it kind of slammed into there. Okay. I think that's about it for tonight here, folks, or at least it is the evening here. I know somewhere where you guys are, it could be morning, middle of the night, or evening, or lunchtime even. But again, bottom line is let's keep an eye on the markets in the crypto market here. And again, watch that Jerome Powell speech tomorrow, as it will be market moving. I'm sure he'll have some highlights there that could sway the dollar. The dollar again, guys, and this is Bitcoin's chart, but if we go to the Dixie here, and this is something I told you guys about recently, look at the dollar here. That is a big-time move. And again, I called this one. I said the dollar is more likely going to get a bounce here. And look at that, 3-bar surge to the upside. Now, one thing to note, 3-bar surges usually create small pullbacks. So I wouldn't be shocked if on the comments tomorrow, maybe, just maybe, we get a dollar pullback. There's also a little bit of a trend line coming into play right here. If we popped up just a little bit, we might tag that, and that could be the culprit for a pullback. So again, in all fairness, it would not shock me to see a bounce in crypto tomorrow, albeit maybe small, but that could coincide with a rollover in, in basically the dollar, or a little bit of a pullback in the dollar here, or the start of a bull flag, which is noted by a sideways small pullback as well. So again, 3-bar surge, maybe up just a little bit, and then I would expect a small pullback. Then maybe after that, one more push up in the dollar to those high levels. Okay. Other than that, I think that's all I have for you tonight. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your morning, day, or night, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.